Martin Green, the director of the Eurovision Song Contest, has just released a letter saying that the EBU is going to do an investigation into the televote system in Eurovision. In this video, I'm going to talk about why that's happening and also what I would like to see them check so we can ascertain whether or not the televote system is being abused. Let's geeky. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst, and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. So yesterday, Martin Green, the director of Eurovision, released this letter. I'm not going to read out the whole thing. You can pause now if you want to read it. But this key part at the end, I will read out because it's relevant to this video. Alongside the discussions of the reference group, one aspect the EBU will be looking at is the promotion of our acts by their delegations and associated parties. Such promotion is allowed. This is not against the rules yet. Under our rules and acts to celebrate the artists, increase their profile and launch future careers. It's very much part of the music industry, but we want to ensure that such promotion is not disproportionately affecting the natural mobilization of communities and diasporas we see in all entertainment audience voting. That's the first part. Second part, another example is the number of votes we allow per person, 20 per payment method. This is designed to ensure that audiences of all ages can vote for more than one of their favorite songs, and there is no current evidence that it disproportionately affects the final result. I tend to disagree, but let's keep going. But the question has been asked, and so we will look at it. I think this is a huge improvement. This is good communication from the EBU. Obviously, they want to do like a proper investigation. It's only been a couple of days since the contest. I'm happy with this. Some people reacted quite poorly to this, but this is much more communication than we're getting last year. First of all, let's talk about why is there this suspicion of the televote potentially being misused. So this year, the televote was won by Yuval from Israel singing New Day Will Rise, which is a pop ballad. Last year, Israel came second in the televote with Hurricane, which was also a pop ballad. Both of these songs got absolutely gigantic televotes, particularly in Western Europe, where there were a lot of televote 12s. Historically, we don't see that pop ballads do that well in the televote. It's not the typical televote song we see with like Cha Cha Cha, Rim Tim Taggy Dim, Shum, Måneskin, big, fun, energetic songs that have a very distinct point of view. Historically, if you look back at the top three of the televote, it's super rare to get a pop ballad in there. Baba Pravi's Voila is chanson. It's not a pop ballad. Duncan Lawrence's Arcade in 2019 for the Netherlands is a pop ballad, but that's also the second most commercially successful song in Eurovision history. Got over 1 billion streams, the second largest amount of streams only behind Snap. And that didn't even win the televote. So arguably the most successful commercial pop ballad in Eurovision history came third in the televote, and then Israel are coming first and second with their pop ballads, despite them being weaker, I think objectively weaker songs. If you think that they're better than Arcade, I don't know how to help you. I think you might be a little bit biased. And then if you want to go back to the next one, I think it would be Russia 2015, A Million Voices. So pop ballads never get top three in the televote. They're just not televote bait songs. The last 2 years, Israel have come first and second with gigantic scores. So a little bit of suspicion from that. That's not the official reason given. That's just my speculation. But a lot of broadcasters have raised concerns that they think something fishy is going on. We know which songs are televote bait songs each year and which songs are jury bait songs. Very distinct characteristics of the two categories. Another reason speculated why broadcasters are complaining is because of this gigantic advertising campaign that the Israeli government did. Again, this is within the rules. There's no current rules that say that you can't do that, although many people like me feel like it's absolutely not in the spirit of the contest whatsoever. Actively trying to engage your diaspora to vote competitively as opposed to for what songs they enjoy. Now, there's been a lot of criticism for the EBU lately about them not having enough transparency. Why don't they just release all of the televote results and then we can all go crazy analyzing the crap out of them? I know if I saw those results, I wouldn't sleep for a week. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of abuse of the televote in the past, not by Israel, but other countries. If you release this data, anyone who wants to manipulate the televote will have all the information on which are the easiest countries to manipulate. Some countries have millions of votes. Some countries only have a few thousand. If you know which ones are which, you can just go to that country, buy a bunch of SIM cards and start manipulating the vote. Someone did that, allegedly, potentially, which I'll talk about in my semi-final one analysis video, which will probably be my next video unless more dramatic letters are released. So realistically, the EBU can't be fully transparent with this. They can't release all the data. It would just cause so many problems in the future and more people trying to abuse the televote system. Okay, now we're going to go through what I would do if I could get my hands on those delicious televote results. It's never going to happen, but this is what I would like to see them check to look for whether there is a statistically significant abuse of the televote or not. With 38 televotes, the 37 participating countries in 2015 plus the rest of the world, I would pick one of them. Because I'm Irish, let's just pick the Irish televote as an example. Step number one. And the first thing that I would do is look at how many times each person voted. So when people call up, did they vote 1 time, 2 times, all the way up to 20 is the maximum. And I would make a bar graph with all of those votes. I posted a poll on my Patreon, and I also made it public, and I posted it on my Twitter as well and got people to vote on it. We had over 500 responses just to give a rough idea of what this could look at. This is not the results. I don't have those results. If I did, I would be up all night looking at them. These are just an example. But this is what the bar graph could look like. At the bottom here, you can see the amount of times that each person voted from 1 up to 20, and then what percentage of them. So 37% of people who replied to the poll voted 20 times, 7% voted 5 times, etc. Now, obviously, the people replying to this poll are super Eurovision fans. So I think in real life, there would be much, much less people voting 20 times and more voting 1 to 10. This is just an example though. So what I'd want to look at is I'd want to zoom in on that 20 column. I think you could include maybe 15 plus. I don't think there's a big reason why you'd exclude 19 and 18. They'd have to draw a line somewhere. Now, once this graph is laid out, I would want to compare that to 2004. And then I want to compare the two of them to 2003 and earlier. So we're looking at, is the spread of how people voted significantly different? When I say significantly different, there are actual statistical tests that you can use to prove that whether something is just normal randomness or if it is significant, this is outside the realm of normal randomness, something significant has changed. But yeah, focus in on these people who voted a lot of times. So let's, for example, zoom in on this 20 column. So these are people who voted 20 times. We don't know who for or how many different countries. We're going to find that out next. Let's go step number 2. We're going even deeper. We're going so deep into the rabbit hole. Of the people who voted 20 times, how many different countries did they vote for? The minimum will be 1. The maximum will be 20, although that's insane. Why would you vote for 20 different countries one time? That seems really... You do you, babe. That's how you want to vote. I love it. Go democracy. Here's another example. I actually asked my patrons to leave comments about if they voted 20 times, how did they distribute the votes? I can use myself as an example here. I voted 20 times and I spread it amongst 10 different countries. So here is the example from my patrons, how their votes were spread. You can see 2 people voted only for 1 country. Most people voted for 2 plus. The most common one was people spreading their votes among 6 people. I spread my votes among 10 people. This seems like an organic way to spread your votes, in my opinion. A couple of people voting for 20, like people who absolutely adore one song or know that it maybe might not be appreciated by the general public. I think songs like Lithuania, Latvia, which are a little bit niche. Anyone who is a bit worried about them might say, okay, I'm going to vote 20 times. Albania as well. But generally, I think people like to spread their votes out. All these people who voted 20 times in Ireland, they're spreading out and seeing how many different countries did they vote for. That's step 2. Again, we can stop here, compare it to 2024 to see, okay, is this changing? Was it similar to last year or not? Then compare it to 2023 and earlier, which are normal years. You could say it's your control group. How far back they want to go depends on how much time they have, because there's a lot of work. I'm not saying that this is something you do in 20 minutes. This is going to take a lot of legwork. But yes, I would do a comparison at the end of step 2 as well, the same way we did at the end of step 1. Then we want to go deeper. We're going so deep, babe. We're going to the Mariana Trench. We've got a scuba gear. I think we need more than scuba gear to go to the Mariana Trench. We're going to focus in on this 1 vote column. So these are people who voted 20 times, but they only voted for 1 country. Okay? Hopefully you're still with me. Stay with me, babe. Don't lose concentration. So step number 3. Don't worry, this is the last step. I would want to do a final bar chart of the people who voted 20 times for 1 country. Which country was that? Very simple chart going from A to Z. So for this one, I just used a random number generator between 1 and 26 to just give you an example of what this could look like. Obviously, the real graph will have much more big highs and lows, but this is what I think the EBU should be looking at. People who vote 20 times and only for 1 country, who did they give their 20 votes to? Compare that to 2024, make that into like a small group, 2024 and 2025, and then compare that to 2023 and earlier, which is the control. And what I think they should be looking for is a huge spike in people giving 20 votes to Israel. This will help them determine, did something actually happen? Maybe Israel just got a lot of organic votes from many, many people, but maybe this advertising campaign worked and we'll see a huge uptick in people voting 20 times for Israel. And that was the only country that they voted for. Again, very, very strange that Ireland gave 10 televote points to Israel, considering that Ireland is one of the most, if not the most, pro-Palestine country in the whole of Europe. And this is the second year in a row that we've given them 10 televote points. But the way the televote works is, if you're pro-Israel, you can vote for them 20 times, 60 times, 100 times. If you're against Israel, there's nothing you can do. There's no pro-Palestine candidate. There might have been last year with Bashar Murad, who it appeared was going to win Smthngnw, but then stuff happened and he didn't because of their golden final, which was a very unusual occurrence that happened. This isn't a yes-no poll. This is 26 options. If you're against Israel, you're spread amongst 25 options, whereas if you're for Israel, you only have one. So it gives this distorted view that Israel does well. It means that people are supporting them when actually pro-Palestinian people don't have a way to make their opinion known. Now, that example was just for one country, Ireland. I think they would have to do that for all 38 televotes, the 37 countries plus the rest of the world. But I think a particular focus on countries that gave Israel high televote points, although they could split them into two groups and analyze the groups that gave Israel high televote points and compare them to the countries that didn't. That's another thing that they could potentially do. I'm very curious as well. Do you have any ideas what you think they should look at? Some of you are total stats buffs. That's why I love you. So you can leave a comment down below if you can think of a spicier way to check this out. But this is the type of thing that I would like to see them do. Again, they can do it fully transparency because unfortunately there are people who will abuse this information from all countries around Europe if they find it out, unfortunately. But yeah, if the EBU needs any help looking at these numbers, I volunteer as tribute. So if they did do a thorough investigation like that, one potential outcome is they find that Israel did push the limits of the rules. Again, didn't do anything against the rules, but really just push the limits of what is allowed, and also against the spirit of the contest. It's not meant to be this hyper-competitive thing where you're meant to rile up your diaspora. It's meant to be like a little bit of fun, casual contest to find out what your favorite song is. That's the point of the televote. It's meant to unite Europe, despite us all being from different backgrounds. This is the song that we love the most. And it looks like that system is potentially being abused. But looking through this data will give us an objective statistical answer, whether that's the case or not. They can literally use statistical tests and tell us whether this is statistically significant. Does it have a P number of less than 0.05? Or is this an organic process where there's lots of small votes just coming from a huge amount of the population? Or does one happen in one country and another one happen in another? Hopefully they give us a really nice detailed report about that to help just bring a little bit more confidence back into the televote system. I'm seeing so many people saying that they're not going to vote next year because they just feel like they're voting for their favorite songs, 4 or 5 different songs, and then other people are just voting strategically who maybe don't have any interest in the contest whatsoever. And this is just making them feel like, what's the point in voting? So they need to bring back the confidence in voting by doing a really thorough report, show as much of the results as possible without giving too much data away that people can cheat with in the future. And then hopefully make some rule changes based on their findings. I think definitely getting rid of ads. There's no reason why countries should be advertising for votes. Yes, definitely promote your song. Sing it on TV shows. Do TikToks with different people. Just saying vote for me 20 times, that is not promoting the song. You're not even playing the song. It's just like trying to game the system, which is currently within the rules. But I think they should change those rules that you can't do that. I also think that they should change the 20 vote so you can't vote for one country. Again, there are some people who do that organically, but I think that sacrificing that for the greater good, I think the majority of people vote for several songs if they vote 20 times. So I think that making that small sacrifice for a fairer system that's more in the spirit of the contest. If people lose confidence, we're going to see voting numbers go down, which is obviously less income for whoever's making the money from votes. Okay, that's what I thought about Martin Green's letter and this potential review of the televote system. What did you think? Leave me your spicy statistical comments down below. Hey, if you throw some statistical word salads at me like t-test, paired t-test and ANOVA and whatnot, special bonus points to you. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to support the channel, I'll leave your QR code over here and a link in the description. And of course, thank you to all my wonderful patrons for patronizing me from all around the world and also helping me with that poll and leaving the comments. And a shout out as well to my YouTube members. But of course, thank you so much just for being here. I've seen another, oh no. But of course, thank you so much just for being here. I've seen another Eurovision analysis video very, very soon. Goodbye.